So the quarterfinals are now over, which means it's time to talk about players to buy and avoid for the semi-finals. Before I get into the players, stats, etc. themselves, I wanted to go through a bit of housekeeping before we do so, because I think there are some key rules, things to do with the game, etc. that I think might be useful to share before doing so. So, important bit of knowledge around picking your team is the maximum number of players that you are allowed to have per nation in your team for the semi-finals. So it's been increasing as the rounds have gone on. For the round of 16, we've been allowed 4, quarterfinals was 5. And for the semi-finals, we're allowed 6. So you're now allowed 6 players per nation. And another bit of info I thought would be useful as well is the number of transfers available, which might also help you when it comes to planning your chip strategy as well. Knowing how many transfers you'll have at each round to deal with, say if you've got 4 Spain players, for example, and Spain get knocked out, you'll be using all of your transfers in that scenario, for example, to get rid of your Spain players. So just something to bear in mind. For the semi-finals, we've got 4 transfers available. And then finally, I just wanted to have a look at the Elevenify stats. It's been a little while since I visited these. My mistake, really, been a bit negligent here. They've been extra useful when it comes to actually picking my teams in the past, so I'm going to use them again. They've put up some predictions, predicted amount of goals, clean sheet odds, win percentage, draw percentage for each team in the semi-finals. Now, looking at the odds that Elevenify is suggesting, it actually suggests that England are expected to be the top scorers, the team that scores the most goals during the semis. And they also have the best clean sheet odds at 26%. Winning odds as well, 44, which is higher than Spain, France, or obviously the Netherlands, who they're playing. Then a draw is 24% in each game. I think that's basically all the stats to go through. England, Spain, and France expected to score the most goals. In my mind, I would probably say it's England and Spain would be the team that I'd expect to score the most goals. And then clean sheet, realistically, I'd probably personally back England and France just because I just think France are ridiculously strong defensively with the players that they've got. And England probably have the easier, in inverted commas, fixture. In my mind, they should be able to beat the Netherlands, but will they keep a clean sheet? I guess that's the question. But I guess one bit of further analysis here, right? 26% is the highest likelihood of a clean sheet. If there was something going on in your life that had a 26% chance of happening, how much would you really put behind that to back it? I would say, it's basically 1 in 4 chance of happening. I don't really like those odds. So I'll be talking about some of the defences I'd be happy to pick from in this video, but I wouldn't go all out expecting clean sheets at this stage. I just wanted to cover France first off, really, and just the fact that I really like their defence. Now, I'm not absolutely saying rush in and buy them. We saw their clean sheet odds in and around 20%, so I wouldn't absolutely hedge on any clean sheets, really, during the semi-finals. But when you look at the France defence statistically this tournament, they've conceded 1 goal, and that was a Lewandowski penalty in the group stages, right? Maignan, Lucas Hernandez, Upamecano, Koundé, and Saliba. I mean, name me a club side that has a back four that can compete with that, right? It's just an absolutely ridiculous defence. And I know they've got Spain, one of like the best free-flowing attacking teams in the tournament. But even Spain, I think, will find it tough to play against France and really get behind their defence, particularly considering they've got Kanté shielding them as well from a defensive midfield perspective, and Tchouaméni, and Camavinga, Rabiot. All of these players are really competent, playing in front of the defence and acting as an extra shield. I just think defensively, they are the most solid team in the tournament. And yeah, I can't not talk about the France defence. And if I was to pick one team to pick from in terms of a defence, we've seen the clean sheet odds. This is my opinion now. I pick France. But on the other side of the coin, I've not been impressed by the French attack at all. I've got to say, I think they're really missing a player of the likes of Paul Pogba, someone who can really break the lines with killer passes and also really stretch teams, allowing Mbappe to run behind because he can find him with long balls. I think they're really missing that in their side this year. They don't have a player that can really replace that. And also, other than Mbappe, of course, Mbappe and Griezmann are probably going to play every game, right? It's really unclear as to how they're going to line up game on game. Dembele was on the bench in the quarterfinals, but he could, start based on how he performed. He could well start in the semis. I've not been all that impressed by Thuram or Kolo Muani, and then Coman's on the bench as well. So just all those options available. And Giroud, I haven't even mentioned Giroud. I cannot believe that Giroud has not had more minutes this tournament. I think he really could make more of an impact than other players that have played. And Mbappe himself, right, he's broken his nose, apparently not being able to sleep, playing, it definitely looks like he's playing in a restricted manner, right? So I just don't really back France to score that many goals, and for that reason, probably avoid any French attackers. But gotta say, Mbappe is probably worth picking, right? He's on penalties, so every game he plays, he has a chance of scoring. He's probably the best footballer on the planet right now, right? So outside of Mbappe, I wouldn't really touch any of these French attackers. Now, despite backing the French defence, they only have a 20-ish% chance of a clean sheet. And like I said, I don't think I would hang my hat on any teams keeping a clean sheet in the semi-finals, right? And for that reason, my favourite Spanish player is Fabian Ruiz. 6.5 million. He offers great value for like the point scoring potential that he carries. He's been in fantastic attacking form this tournament. He's got an attacking return per start that he's made. He's also relatively decent for ball recoveries as well. 4.5 ball recoveries per game is getting him an extra point per game. You know, as the games go on, get a bit more cagey, needly, you know, midfield battles, etc. That could go up. And he's clearly a Spain manager favourite. And when you compare him to Rodri, who has had a good tournament, he's not been on fire in terms of attacking perspective as we might have thought he would have been, Rodri. So I think Fabian Ruiz, comparatively, they're the same price, right? I think Fabian Ruiz is the better option. And even though I've backed the France defence, like I said, I'm not hugely confident in a clean sheet for any team. I would back Fabian Ruiz to do well. Had to talk about Jude Bellingham. I know he's probably one of the most popular players in the game right now, but I have a feeling based on the videos I've made, etc., most people that watch this channel might not have him in their teams at the moment. I don't think the percentage selected by stat on the Euros game quite reflects YouTubers, or people watching YouTube videos about it, basically. I think Bellingham is still probably the best England midfielder. What I really like about him is his price point. If he goes out of the tournament, which could happen, right, in the semi-finals, I do think England win. But if he goes out, you can replace him with anyone because he's the most expensive midfielder. And in fact, you can replace him with someone cheaper, which allows you more money to upgrade elsewhere. So if there's a way you can get Bellingham in, I think it's worth doing. He plays every minute of every game. Reasonable ball recovery stats. I think the Netherlands game sort of bodes well for Bellingham's ball recoveries to improve a little bit. I think it's going to be a cagier affair. Both teams trying to keep the ball a bit more or play the ball along the ground anyway. I just think it's going to be better for ball recoveries for Bellingham. He's got 2 Player of the Match awards and 2 goals in the games that he's played so far. And when you visit the winning odds, right, this is the Elevenify odds to win, England come out on top. So England are the most likely team of all 4 playing in the semi-finals to progress to the next round. They've got Spain and France as a complete 50-50 basically, 39 and 37% to go through. I think that's so close, you basically say you can't decide it. Whereas Netherlands and England are the clear favourites there, over 14% more likely to win than the Netherlands are. So why not pick the best midfielder for the team most likely to get to the next stage? And with that in mind, why not pick the England defence as well? When you go back to those clean sheet odds, England are the #1 team to keep a clean sheet. The clean sheet odds are not great across the board, but they're 26 compared to Spain on 21, or 22, sorry, in France on 21. Netherlands only 19. So England are on top in terms of clean sheet odds. One player in particular I think Gareth Southgate, given that Shaw came on, looked fit, played well, he should just go straight into the starting 11 and play. England have not had a left-footed left-back throughout the whole tournament, and I think it's really held them back from an attacking perspective because defences know that Kieran Trippier cannot overlap and cannot cross the ball with his left foot. It's so easy to defend against England on that left-hand side. Even if Shaw has a poor game, he can still run an overlap and cause a defender to track him and then gives someone playing on the left, maybe Foden for example, more space to operate. It just seems so obvious to me. And I think Shaw's going to start in the semis. He's going to be a nice differential if he does. I don't think anyone's going to have him at the moment because he's not been starting. So I'd go for Luke Shaw if I could. The other guys, Guéhi, I'd actually question whether Guéhi comes, whether it's a completely easy decision to put him straight back in the starting 11. I think he probably does, but Konsa played so well against Switzerland. I put a little bit of doubt in my mind as to whether Guéhi starts. I think he probably does. I'm 90% sure he does. Stones, Walker and Pickford, absolutely nailed on, unless of course they pick up a training injury. But yeah, why not pick the England defence? They've got the best clean sheet odds for the semi-finals, the best winning odds. They're the most likely team to progress to the final. You got Luke Shaw sitting there as a nice differential that should be starting in the semis. Okay, and that's the end of the video. Apologies, I sound absolutely terrible today. Got a sore throat, hay fever, all sorts going on with me at the moment, but I hope you still made sense of what I had to say and enjoyed the video. I just sound a bit different, don't I, basically? If you enjoyed it, please leave me a like rating. Let me know if there are any other players that you would buy or avoid ahead of the semi-finals. I will have a couple more videos coming out ahead of time. We've got a couple more days to go. I'll do a wildcard draft because I think ultimately, the wildcard's probably going to be a popular time for most players to play their wildcards, right? And then I'll also do my own team selection. So you got those 2 more videos to come out ahead of the semi-finals, and hopefully that'll give you all the information that you need. All right, I don't know why I paused there. Thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe to the Golden Girl channel, which should be just there. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.